The episode begins in 1995 with a recount of Fury's initial contact with the Skrulls, where he met Talos and pledged to find the aliens a home. The action then shifts to Brixton, London, in 1997, when Fury is establishing his first Skrull agent network. Vara, a female Skrull, introduces Fury to a young Gravik, a Skrull youngster whose parents were murdered by the Kree. Gravik escaped from behind enemy lines and piloted his own ship to Earth. Vara believes he would be an excellent fit for their network and requests that Fury speak with him. Fury strikes up a friendship with Gravik, bringing him into the fold. Later, Talos addresses the Skrulls, reinforcing his faith in Fury, and Fury tells the Skrulls that in exchange for their assistance acting as his spies, he and Carol Danvers will find them a new home. The Skrulls agree and enthusiastically support him. Gravik and Talos' daughter Jaya flee the scene of their terrorist strike in the present day. The Russians apprehend Skrull Brogan, who is posing as an American, just as Talos attempts to free Fury. Following the opening credits, we are on a train from Moscow to Warsaw, where Russian soldiers are searching for Nick Fury. They knock on a compartment and ask the woman inside if she's seen him, but she laughs and says they're more likely to discover an alien than a black American on the train. The soldiers depart, and the woman transforms into Talos, with Fury emerging from the restroom. During their conversation, Fury reminisces about his youth, telling Talos about riding the train from Alabama to Detroit with his mother and mentioning a game they used to play called Tell Me Something I Don't Know. Fury's mother once asked him to tell her something she didn't know about him and the girl he was seeing at the time, Susie. He obviously lied to her, but the fact that he had lied told her all she needed to know. It's another scenario similar to Fury's grandfather's story in Captain America, The Winter Soldier, which is a lovely touch for fans. When Fury asks Talos about the devastation of Skrullos, the Skrull homeworld, Talos explains how they were attacked and how, once they realized they couldn't win, the million Skrulls who remained fled for their lives. Fury then inquires about the Skrulls who left, and Talos confirms that all 1 million of them are on Earth. This astounds Fury, who claims Talos lied to him, but Talos claims his people are being sought across the cosmos. The only way to keep them safe was to summon them to Earth. Talos believes that with Fury's assistance, humans and Skrulls can coexist on Earth, but Fury does not believe that is even remotely conceivable. Humans can't coexist with each other, Fury states emphatically, implying that the Skrulls have no place on Earth. He tells Talos to get off the train, which the Skrull complies, leaving Fury to face with the severity of what he's discovered. Maria Hill's mother Elizabeth, represented by Juliet Stevenson, retrieves her daughter's casket in London, while the former director of S.H.I.E.L.D. is given a proper military send-off. There, Elizabeth encounters Fury, who tells her that Maria died because someone was attempting to harm him. Angry that he is to blame for Maria's death, Elizabeth requests that Fury ensure that her daughter's death was not in vain. A sequence of news clips depict the aftermath of the Skrulls' terrorist attack. Over 2,000 people have been slain, and the culprit in custody is an American. The UK Prime Minister has condemned the attack, and NATO Secretary-General reports that intelligence regarding the strike is being gathered. Russia appears to be preparing to declare war on the United States, while American officials swear that they are not involved. Jaya transports Gravik to a Skrull Council meeting. She asks him on the way how he knew Fury would show there. Gravik wasn't sure, but he hoped he would be. He expresses his belief that Fury will not pose a threat, claiming that he could have killed him right then and there. Gravik enters the council meeting without Jaya, hands her a rifle, and orders her to shoot the guard if he doesn't return in an hour. As Gravik enters the meeting, the Prime Minister and Secretary General are revealed to be Skrulls and council members. The Skrull Council, commanded by a Skrull named Shirley, expresses their desire to punish Gravik. The youthful Skrull commander, on the other side, claims that Fury and the humans abandoned them. He sees no other option but a war, which they will win. The Secretary-General asks him what he'll do if the Avengers return, but Gravik replies he's already thought of that, and he urges the Council to trust him. The Prime Minister is shown to be collaborating with Gravik and hands over control of the Council to him, dubbing him General and granting him total, unrestrained power. Shirley refuses to surrender to Gravik, but he lets her go because he admires her ideals. Shirley exits the meeting and calls Talos to inform him about Gravik's new position. Talos requests that Shirley arrange a meeting between him and Gravik in a public venue to discuss Jaya. Gravik's rise is celebrated by the insurrection in New Skrullos, but Jaya notices Gravik talking to Pagon. She pursues Pagon to a secret lab where two scientists are creating a contraption out of unusual DNA samples. We learn from Pagon's interaction with one of them, Dr. Rosa Dalton, that Gravik and Pagon are seeking for something called the harvest, which the scientists require for their work. They have so far proven unsuccessful. The heads of state of the European Union and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom convene an emergency security summit in London, to which James Rhodes represents the United States. The other countries ask Rhodey about Fury and Hill's attendance at the site of the Moscow terror incident. He claims that, while he is aware of allegations that Fury and Hill were in Moscow, they would have been there as private persons. He also informs them that, while the U.S. is sensitive to their worries, the president is uninterested in what they have to say until they can provide reliable evidence that the U.S. was engaged in the attack. Following the summit, Rhodey receives a phone call from Fury and agrees to meet him for a drink. They meet at a tavern, where Fury admits to Rhodey that he was attempting to stop the attack, which does nothing to soothe Rhodey. The Skrull danger is then revealed by Fury. Fury refuses to call in the Avengers, claiming that it would be too hazardous. If the Skrulls could replicate the Avengers and their abilities, humanity would be doomed. Fury wants to fight this war alone, but he needs Rhodey's help, which the former Avenger denies. Rhodey then unleashes Fury. Fury finally reveals himself to be the old spymaster we all know and love when he informs Rhodey, "I'm Nick Fury. Even when I'm out, I'm in." Sonya Falsworth visits the location where the Russians are questioning the kidnapped Skrull terrorist as Fury comes to terms with being an agent of nothing. She takes command, orders the Russians out of the room, and begins her interrogation by chopping off a finger to determine whether or not the prisoner is a Skrull. Back in New Skrullos, Jaya searches for Rosa Dalton on the computer, discovering a list of DNA samples acquired by the Skrulls from various people and species, ranging from Groot to Cull Obsidian of the Black Order to Iron Man's extremist technology. Gravik interrupts her, but she conceals what she was doing. They have a conversation, and he mentions how he initially suspected Jaya of being a Talos spy when she first joined him. He then tells that they have located Brogan and takes her with them to release the captured rebel. Meanwhile, Brogan poses as normal, refusing to tell Sonya anything, but she injects him with a medication that causes his blood to boil. The agony is more than enough to loosen Brogan's tongue. While the Skrull prisoner has no idea where Gravik is, he does reveal information on the gadget they're working on, stating that he believes it will make the Skrulls stronger. She inquires as to who is assisting them, and Brogan discloses that it is a married pair named Dalton. Jaya and Gravik arrive at Brogan's location, along with Pagon and Beto, Samuel Adewunmi. Gravik and Pagon break in, leave Jaya and Beto in the car, and slaughter all the Russians on watch. Jaya walks away from Beto, stating she's going around the back to check on things. Gravik and Pagon save Brogan, but Sonya escapes via a hidden hatch. Jaya goes into hiding and makes a phone call in Russian. Gravik asks Brogan what he told the authorities, but Brogan lies and says he said nothing. Gravik notices the escape hatch Sonya used. After driving away, the Skrulls find the police waiting for them at their safe house. We can probably assume that's the call Jaya was making. Gravik has them drive out into the woods, where Pagon executes Brogan. In the episode's concluding moments, Fury goes to a storage facility, where he picks up a vehicle and drives out into the countryside. Then we're shown a house with a female Skrull working in the kitchen. Fury enters and encounters the Skrull, now in human form, Charlene Woodard. "Aren't you forgetting something?" she says. And Fury steps out of the kitchen, returning with a wedding ring, which he then places on his finger before kissing her, and this is how we meet Priscilla Fury, Nick's wife and maybe a Skrull agent, but whose side? Episode 2 is a significant improvement over the first episode, with the plot becoming significantly more engaging and concluding in a cliffhanger that we honestly didn't see coming. Please subscribe and turn on notification.